Hey guys, this is BiXX. Welcome to another Mentoring Monday. I've talked a lot about figuring out your purpose in life. Maybe you're probably overkill on that, but something that gives you great satisfaction and that you're good at, and you're also very passionate about it. And how sad is it for people who go through life without a purpose? It's, really an empty life. But today, I want to dig a little deeper into purpose, and it won't be exactly what you're thinking. So today's topic is having a higher purpose, having a greater purpose, greater than the task that you're doing. Having a higher purpose in just about everything that you do. And I'll give you some examples. Have you ever achieved something that you've worked incredibly hard for, only to feel surprisingly empty afterwards? Well, I certainly have. One of the saddest days of my life was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life. A day of relief and financial freedom. It was the day that I sold my business after building it for about 10 years. I remember driving back home from the attorney's office completely empty and sad. I asked myself, what did I just do? I was so focused on me and the end goal of selling my company one day that I failed to realize my greater purpose, my higher purpose, was to improve the lives of my many employees, to help my customers build great businesses, and to help my vendors grow profitably so they could serve us better, and to revolutionize our industry with a new standard of service and execution. And none of that was about me. So maybe for you, it was about a promotion. Maybe it was hitting a financial goal. Or maybe it was releasing an album, like I did last year. But it did have a greater purpose, delivering inspirational messages. For you, back to you, maybe it's about getting more followers, more recognition, more clients, more success. And for years, you tell yourself, when I get there, I'll finally be happy. Then you get there, a few weeks later, you're already chasing the next thing. Why? Because while goals are important, goals are not purpose. I have spent most of my life pursuing goals in just about everything I do. Business goals, financial goals, creative goals, music goals. I had a goal of getting a track played on a State of Trance. I did, and I felt great one day, then it was back to normal. Goals give us direction, and goals help us measure progress. And goals push us to grow. But there's something I eventually learned. Goals can motivate you, but purpose sustains you. A goal is something that you can achieve. A purpose is something you live. A goal has an ending. A purpose keeps going. My goal was to sell my company, but that was not my purpose. At the time, I didn't really know my purpose. A goal asks, what do I want? A purpose asks, why does this matter? I've met people over my lifetime who've achieved enormous success and were still very unhappy. They had money, recognition, status, freedom, yet something was missing. I was in a monthly forum group, which means a structured meeting group, with about 9 other guys. Each of them owned their own business and were very successful, but most were not happy. Something was missing. At the time, I did not know what it meant to have a higher purpose. I've also met people who were building something meaningful, helping others, growing every day, and they were genuinely fulfilled because they knew why they were doing what they were doing. When your life is connected to a higher purpose, struggle starts to mean something. The setbacks become part of the mission. The sacrifices become easier to accept. And the difficult times are easier to navigate. Purpose turns effort into impact. It turns struggle into growth. Purpose turns success into fulfillment. Purpose turns life into legacy. Purpose is usually discovered through actions, not just overthinking. You move, you try things, you help people, you create, you contribute, and you learn. And then over time, patterns start to appear. you start noticing what energizes you, and you start noticing what feels meaningful. You start noticing where your gifts create value for other people. All right, I'm going to end this part of having a greater purpose right here so I don't make this a 10-minute to 15-minute talk. I'm going to do a second part. In the second part in 2 weeks, I'm going to talk about helping you discover that higher purpose in different areas of your life. What are the questions you can ask yourself? So I invite you to watch both parts because this is really important stuff. You can change how you look at what you are doing to find that higher purpose. It'll be like rocket fuel to jumpstart your career or inspire you to possibly find a new career. So I'll see you again in 2 weeks. And remember, it's never too late to reinvent yourself. Cheers.